Hey guys, welcome to Tech News Day.
And oh boy, do we have a lot to cover today. Even if you've just glanced at a news source over the last couple days, you might be wondering why the hell everyone's so angry at Facebook right now.
What reason could it be this time, Elliot?
What the hell is Cambridge Analytica? Why are people threatening to hashtag delete Facebook? And what does all this have to do with Donald Trump? Is it a data breach? Because it sounds like a data breach, but wait, it's technically not a data breach? Explain yourself.
So there's a whole lot to sort out here, and separating the signal from the noise and the facts from the hysteria is pretty damn tough without a whole lot of background info. So let us set the stage for you. Cambridge Analytica is a company that specializes in data analysis for the purposes of targeted advertising, specifically in politics, though they also do some work in traditional marketing. On the political side of things, their pitch, found on their own website, is, quote, "By knowing your electorate better, we achieve greater influence while lowering overall costs." Sounds like a great deal.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Well, Cambridge Analytica, they've only been around since 2013, but their parent company, SCL Group, has been around since 1993, doing market research for elections in Britain and around the world and selling their data to campaigns. They sell themselves on being able to essentially get into the minds of specific groups of potential voters in order to market candidates or political parties more effectively. In today's world, that means observing people's behavior on the internet, and there's no better place for doing that than on Facebook. By far the biggest social media network on Earth, with over 2 billion users around the world.
Now, a good chunk of those 2 billion Facebook users are on Facebook a whole lot, using it as their primary means of digital communication and self-expression, happily sharing insight into their lives and their opinions with their friends list, or depending on their privacy settings and how much they interact with pages, with anyone who just takes the time to look.
Yay!
So if you're a behavioral data analysis company like Cambridge Analytica, Facebook is a goddamn gold mine. The only thing standing in the way of this treasure trove of data points is those pesky privacy settings, which prevent outsiders from seeing users' complete profiles and feeds. How you gonna get around that?
Quite easily, it turns out. People can keep their pages friends only and accept friend requests as carefully as they want. But the second they authorize a third-party app or game on Facebook, or use that super convenient login with Facebook option on outside websites.
It's so easy, Elliot. I'm very lazy.
Yeah, who wants to remember another password? As soon as you do any of that shit, you're granting that third party access to a certain amount of your personal information, or in some cases, just your entire Facebook profile. And you know what's even better than getting someone's complete Facebook profile? A Facebook profile and a complex psychological survey willingly completed by a Facebook user, ostensibly as a personality test.
Yeah, well, that's what Cambridge Analytica did. Sort of. Back around 2012, a Russian-American psychology professor named Alexander Kogan, who these days lives in Silicon Valley and goes by Alex Spector.
Wow!
Not suspicious. He released an app called This Is Your Digital Life. The app was basically a personality quiz, a simplified version of the types of personality quizzes used in legitimate psychological studies, and in order to use it, you had to first sign in using Facebook. They'd even pay $1 or $2 to take that survey.
Wow, sign me up.
You're making money now, baby. So users were not only happily handing over psychological profiles of themselves to a complete stranger, but also their complete Facebook profiles. And Alex Spector's company, of course, set about analyzing both data sets, finding correlations between people's personality results and their social media behavior.
Oh, and also at that time, pre-2014, Facebook allowed these kinds of third parties to not only look at your Facebook profile once you'd consented to all those terms that you didn't read,
Zoom!
But also to look at the profiles of anyone on your friends list who had parts of their profile set to public. So, using a predictive model that they developed by comparing people's test results and their Facebook activity, they applied that model to the profiles of people's friends, predicting those people's behavior and opinions. Now, only around 270,000 people downloaded the app, but thanks to the ability to see people's friends, Cambridge Analytica and Kogan, they amassed information about around 50 million people, most of whom never even downloaded the personality quiz app, much less consented to being psychologically analyzed.
Whoops. Anyways, at some point after amassing all this information, Spector was approached by Cambridge Analytica, and they worked out a deal where he gave them all the information he'd collected using his app. The names, locations, genders, ages, test results, and predicted test results of millions of people. It was a lot of data. Cambridge Analytica then used that data to create targeted advertisements promoting the Leave.eu Brexit campaign, the Ted Cruz Republican primary campaign, and the Donald Trump presidential campaign.
Now, most of this has been known for a long time, who Cambridge Analytica is, what they do, and who they've worked for. The Leave.eu one, they still are, that's still unofficial, but almost certainly true. But what is news, though, is their specific methods. And we know that now thanks to a former employee who talked to the New York Times and The Guardian in articles published over the weekend, as well as a set of undercover videos released by the UK's Channel 4, which are fucking wild.
Yeah.
But before any of those pieces were released, Facebook caught wind of the shitstorm heading their way and preemptively issued a statement to their newsroom blog announcing that they had suspended Cambridge Analytica.
Oh, thank goodness.
And SCL Group and Alexander Kogan from their platform for violating their private.
Well, I guess our job is done here. Let's leave.
We fixed it.
Yeah. The violation specifically was that Kogan had given his data to Cambridge Analytica. The collection of the data was fine. The sharing of it was not. Facebook says that they confronted Kogan and Cambridge Analytica about this back in 2015, and guys, don't worry. They promised to delete the data.
Okay.
Just like last year when we got held for ransom and they paid the ransom, Uber paid the ransom and was like, just delete the data. And the guy's like, okay, I promise. We did it. Yeah, so they promised to delete the data, but to Facebook's shocking, absolute dismay, it turned out, hold on, take a deep breath, the data was not deleted.
What?
I know, I'm surprised too, everyone. Following Facebook's post, news media and individuals on social media began talking about this news the same way they talked about big data breaches like the Equifax one from last year.
And in some ways it is a data breach, but in other ways it's not a data breach at all. It's people willingly sharing personal information that's then exploited. Facebook updated their post to include the following. The claim that this is a data breach is completely false. Alexander Kogan requested and gained access to information from users who chose to sign up to his app, and everyone involved gave their consent. People knowingly provided their information, no systems were infiltrated, and no passwords or sensitive pieces of information were stolen or hacked. In other words, guys, this isn't a bug, it's a feature.
Now, even though the Equifax thing was obviously worse,
Yeah.
because we had no say in it, it would be ironic if now Facebook was given, some kind of grant by the government to become the protector of social media's people's profiles.
Can I just use Facebook as my bank? I'm on it all the time anyway.
Well, they do money transfers now.
True.
What could go wrong? Anyway, on Saturday, the New York Times published their piece featuring insider information from Christopher Wiley, who worked for SCL Group from 2013 to 2014 and observed the birth of Cambridge Analytica, playing a key role in designing their methods. Billionaire Robert Mercer, America's biggest Republican donor, teamed up with Breitbart's Steve Bannon and SCL Group's Alexander Nix to finance a new data-driven approach to Republican campaigning. But their initial attempts at doing so weren't very productive because they didn't have much data to work with.
To fix that, they reached out to Cambridge University's Psychometric Center, who had developed a technique to map personality traits based on Facebook activity using a personality quiz to gain access. The Psychometric Center declined to work with SCL Group, so SCL then just reached out directly to a professor familiar with the techniques, Alexander Kogan, and paid $800,000 for him to replicate it and give them all the data he collected.
I mean, who wouldn't take that? That bride? Question mark?
Robert Mercer and Steve Bannon were so stoked on this development, they invested $15 million into spinning off a whole new company here in the US, Cambridge Analytica. Though it was basically just a shell company run by SCL Group with SCL's Alexander Nix appointed as Cambridge Analytica's CEO.
Everybody wins? Question mark. U.S. election laws limit the involvement of foreign nationals in American elections, so right off the bat, this is all likely pretty illegal. Nix is British, Wiley's Canadian, and most of the rest of SCL's employees weren't American either. Nix now claims he wasn't closely involved in any of their work in U.S. elections and that all their important personnel were either U.S. nationals or green card holders, but we think he might be lying.
Yeah.
The track record here, not exactly perfect, so...
Yeah, we deleted the data.
Last month, he lied to the UK's Parliament, saying Cambridge Analytica and SCL Group never obtained or used Facebook data. So, again, might not be honest here. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt this time, just like we did the last couple times. But
he promised.
According to multiple former employees the Times spoke to, most of their data scientists during the 2016 election were citizens of the UK or other European countries. Whoops.
The same day that the Times article was published, The Guardian published their own article, the first of several to be published over the last couple days there about Cambridge Analytica. In this one, they also spoke at length with Christopher Wiley, who said, We exploited Facebook to harvest millions of people's profiles and built models to exploit what we knew about them and target their inner demons.
Not my porno.
That was the basis the entire company was built on. Wiley also described what Facebook did upon learning that Cambridge Analytica had violated the terms of service. Quote, "That was to me the most astonishing thing. They waited 2 years and did absolutely nothing to check that the data was deleted. All they asked me to do was tick a box on a form and post it back." They said they deleted it, guys.
It's true. Now this is all pretty sketchy at this point, but Channel 4's reports on Monday and Tuesday take things to a whole new level thanks to hidden camera footage that they captured while posing as potential clients in meetings with Cambridge Analytica. They've got CEO Alexander Nix on camera bragging that they secretly participate in elections around the world by using front companies and subcontractors so that it can't be traced back to them. And also pitched the idea of hiring Ukrainian prostitutes to seduce political opponents and record the interaction.
That's weirdly familiar.
It's a fun company. Nix describes this as what can be done, what has been done. So has been done being a big point there.
During these sting conversations, it's abundantly clear that Cambridge Analytica might not just be only about gathering data for the purposes of propaganda. There's also just straight up bribery, entrapment, and blackmail in there, which they market as something they do, using their third-party network of contractors who are former spies. Also, you know, potentially illegal, all of it, depending on where it happens. Anyway, in Channel 4's second report the following day, they examined the relationship between Cambridge Analytica and the 2016 Trump campaign.
Hot MILFs are in your area, and they're horny now, and you know who they love?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
And in those meetings, they got British Cambridge Analytica representatives on camera in the UK claiming responsibility for all of Trump's digital advertising, which again, is illegal under US election law, because they're not American.
Oh, and if you're confused about what, if anything, this has to do with the whole separate issue of Russian government operatives posing as Americans on social media and posting propaganda leading up to the election, well, that mostly remains to be seen, though that researcher, Alex Spector-Kogan, has had research funded by the Russian government and has given presentations in Russia about his data mining techniques. It wouldn't be a huge stretch to imagine he might accept money from the Russian government in exchange for his data, like he did with Cambridge Analytica. Christopher Wiley also describes meetings that Cambridge Analytica had with a Russian oil company about their US voting data, which is a little odd.
Yeah, why does this oil company want voting data for their Russian gas stations? It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, because they want to make sure that everyone needs gas on the way to the polls.
I guess.
Yeah.
They only have 2 gas stations in America.
You gotta power those polling stations so we can count all of those voter cards that were jammed into the voting booths while people weren't looking.
Yeah.
Or just cut some balloons.
Yeah, maybe some balloons fly over the
fly
camera.
over the camera. Oh, what happened?
Yeah, so anyway, this whole clusterfuck has set off alarms all over the place. Facebook is in trouble with its users for what rightfully feels like a breach of trust. And they're also potentially in trouble with the law, here in the US for FTC violations, and over in the UK and the EU for not being forthcoming about any of this until being outed by the press. Because privacy laws over there,
Who knew?
A little more strict.
Who knew running a worldwide database of people's intimate information would be so hard?
Cambridge Analytica is also probably in legal trouble for violating US election laws and UK privacy laws. And they could face a civil lawsuit from Facebook as well for violating their terms of service after promising to stop. They're already getting, the UK Parliament is, the lawmakers on both sides of the pond are fucking pissed, but particularly over in the UK, which makes sense because the leader of their country didn't hire these people previously. There's no serious conflict of interest there. Facebook's stock took a massive dip following the news. Their company's value is down several tens of billions.
Yeah.
Reports say that Facebook HQ is in absolute chaos as they work to deal with this mess that they brought entirely upon themselves. Zuckerberg's pulling in night shifts.
Yeah.
He's
one of their head
needs oil in his joints.
Yeah, one of their head data guys resigned.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to yourself? Guys, this is fucked. I'm out.
Yeah, peace. Well, the guy knows when to fold them.
Yeah.
Yeah. As bad as this all is, though, what's really bad here is that we, and maybe you, are so cynical right now that this kind of thing isn't nearly as disturbing as it probably should be. Elections should be about electing the better candidate, but we're not at all shocked that it's really about who has the best marketing strategy. And the people behind those marketing strategies will do some really unethical shit to win. Social media should be about connecting people, but you're either stupid or delusional if you don't think that Facebook's massive success isn't entirely about advertising and data mining. Facebook isn't the product, you are, and hopefully this is the long overdue wake-up call that people need about privacy in the digital age.
Yeah.
I also like the name of the company. It sounds like one of those Scientology companies that is like titled...
The Scientology shell companies, yeah, it does.
It's titled to like make it sound more legitimate than it is, like Cambridge Analytica. What could they possibly be doing wrong?
It's just a charter school in Malibu that all of Will Smith's kids attend. What's the weird thing
big
about it?
deal? ABC Mouse, it's a fun learning program.
Yeah. What I love about
It doesn't
this,
have anything to do with ABC or Disney.
What I love about this, and you saw this with the Russian thing as well, is Facebook loves tooting their horn about how they're the best ad platform on earth until they get in trouble. And they're like, well, who's to say how effective any of this was?
Couldn't possibly be us. I mean, everybody knows that it's really hard to do.
Guys, we all see ads. The ads don't work. Wait, the ads work? Shit.
Also, how suspicious is it that like 3 months before this all comes out, Zuckerberg puts out a statement that's like, hey, by the way, we're changing everything, and
oh, yeah. No, he knew. He saw this coming a mile away.
Mm-hmm. God, poor Zuck, his robot brain is firing it way too fast right now. Yeah.
Anyway, woo lad.
Yeah, we're gonna need Social Network Part 2 real soon.
Yeah.
The movie with Jesse Eisenberg where he just loses all of his hair and eventually becomes Lex Luthor. Yeah, because he's so stressed out, and that's why he becomes an evil fucking villain.
Yeah.
Because the world just comes down on him. And listen, we'll write the movie later. But anyways.
Yeah, so we do still have a little bit more tech news to tell you about this week. But first, we got to give a quick word about this week's sponsor, Google. What can your data tell you? With Google Cloud Platform, use machine learning at scale to build better products. Google's Cloud AI provides modern machine learning services with pre-trained models and a service to generate your own tailored models. Their platform is now available as a cloud service to bring unmatched scale and speed to your business applications. It predicts so your business can thrive. To learn more, click the link down in the video description or go to g.co/getcloudai.
All right, let's just run through some of the rest of this news because we are exhausted from talking about Cambridge Analytica, but we shouldn't be because you should be worried about everything that you put online.
Yeah,
anyway.
Also this news is not going away.
Yeah.
It's probably outdated by the time this video goes up.
But listen, you could be worried about going online. Now you gotta be worried about going out in public because Uber killed someone.
Oh.
Specifically, an Uber self-driving car being tested on the streets of Tempe, Arizona. It hit a pedestrian who was crossing the street outside of a crosswalk.
Are you victim blaming?
No. And that woman later died at the hospital.
Yeah, so it's not clear what exactly caused the accident, but Uber has now paused its self-driving car.
I imagine there's a big red button. Pause.
Yeah, they're not doing any self-driving car testing across the country while they figure this out. This is the first known pedestrian death caused by an autonomous car.
But now they have a taste for blood, Elliot.
They do. Definitely not a great look for a technology that's supposed to be safer than human drivers, and definitely not a great look for Uber, who just cannot
catch a break.
Cannot catch a fucking break. Cannot go more than a few weeks without some extremely negative piece of news coming out about them.
Yeah. And apparently the car never slowed down.
Yeah, it hit her at like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, so this is real bad. Especially for the guy who was supposed to be the safety driver.
Probably spilled his coffee all over himself.
Oh! Anyway, speaking of companies that continue to fuck up over and over and over again, a recent article in Business Insider showed that the YouTube Kids app, the version of YouTube that's supposed to be safe for your children, is full of conspiracy theory content. Yes, YouTube Kids, it blocks searches for stuff like 9/11 or porn, but searching for terms like moon landing and UFO takes you straight to videos claiming that the moon landing was fake, that chemtrails are poisoning us all, that the Earth is flat, which we all know it's a
tetrahedron, I believe is the shape.
Yeah, because then
flat
that way
and
we both win.
Yeah.
And that we are also secretly being ruled over by reptilians.
Yeah, this is the real conspiracy shit. None of this Alex Jones normie shit.
Yeah. Mom, I just learned that water turns frogs gay. Can we go have a little
son,
gay
you don't
frog
even
marriage?
know about the reptilians.
Yeah.
The results even include noted batshit insane conspiracy theorist David Icke giving lectures about all this stuff, which is something you'd think a kid-friendly algorithm would prevent. David Icke, he's the OG conspiracy
Well, did they
guy.
put his voice behind a Peppa Pig or at least mask it in some way?
No, it's just a full 5-hour lecture.
Oh, okay. Great.
So, yeah, YouTube is, of course, super sorry.
We are sorry!
Has fixed the glitch. But hey, turns out you probably shouldn't trust an algorithm to raise your kids.
Who knew?
Of course, if you're still handing your kid the iPad and letting them go wild on YouTube Kids unsupervised after the whole Elsagate thing, a bunch of flat earth videos probably aren't going to make you any less lazy.
Yeah, that's true. Also, here, take this personality test, Junior.
Yeah, he'll give you $1.
Damn it, we have to wait till he's 18. We gotta lower the voting age. Oh, really quick on the YouTube thing, they also did a study that kids learn absolutely nothing from the content that's on YouTube Kids, and that they're actively more engaged in the advertisements. Based on a study, they get more engaged by the advertisements they watch than the actual videos. They're saying that like they just like the music and the bright colors.
Yeah.
There's literally no learning to be had on it.
Yeah.
So
Just don't give your kid an iPad. Give them crayons. They don't fucking care.
but also don't give them ABC Mouse because that's that Scientology company.
Daddy, do you know what Xeno is?
Well, son, you have to take the bridge, and it costs a lot of money. Maybe when you're older.
Daddy, you're being a very suppressive person.
Well, you know, we can't all be clear. It costs a lot of money. You know how it is. Me and your mom are pretty strapped right now. Here, take the iPad. Anyways, in a final bit of news that isn't horribly depressing, except, you know, possibly for the already underpaid drivers, Lyft is currently testing out a monthly subscription model for its ride-sharing platform, which would allow users to pay a monthly fee of $200 for 30 standard Lyft rides or $400 for 60 rides. The definition of standard here means rides under $15 or so. It sounds like you'd be paying the upfront fee as well as everything beyond the first $15 of your prepaid rides.
So for people who use Lyft to commute locally on a regular basis, this is a pretty amazing deal, and Lyft is clearly trying to attract new customers who previously wouldn't have considered such an option due to its cost. The Lyft CEO said in an event last week that a subscription model is the future of his company, right alongside self-driving cars.
Oh.
Though they may need to wait a bit longer on that second part thanks to that latest Uber news.
Yeah, so cool. But that comes out, so you would have to literally nail the $15 ride to have it be worthwhile, because based on the rides they do, it's $300. But if you're doing a bunch of like, I take Lyft regularly because I don't have a car still. That's neither here nor there. But my Lyft is around like $8.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd really be saving any money.
It's perfect for people who live
exactly
like
$15 away.
5 miles away from their job.
Yeah.
Then it's perfect. Then
Yeah.
then you're getting your money.
Because currently I think I'm paying less than $200 for the Lyft rides.
Yeah, no.
But also I get to play games on my phone in the back seat and not worry about driving.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Got a lot of games on that.
And it was cheaper than a lease.
Yeah, it's true. Once
Yeah.
you factor in all the
Yeah,
the
gas
maintenance
and
registration.
insurance. Yeah, it's cheaper than a lease. So
Anyway,
get off my back.
Yeah. That's our show, guys. Thanks again to this week's sponsor, Google. What can your data tell you? With Google Cloud Platform, use machine learning at scale to build better products. It predicts, so your business can thrive. To learn more, click the link down in the video description or go to g.co/getcloudai.
Don't forget to watch 2 new episodes over here. We talked about Luigi's dick size on a recent live show with Shibby, and then Shibby also appears, I don't know why it's such a Shibby heavy week. Shibby also appears on this episode here of Tugs, where the Paul brothers are now taking over gaming. Also, huge shout out to everyone that watched and donated to our charity stream last Friday. We raised $10,000. Thank you very much for doing that. That was amazing. Yes, American Cancer Society, $10,000 on your way, thanks to ETC. Watch the 2 videos over here that I just explained that were probably not on the screen because we wasted too much time, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.